All right, joining me on the Lawson's Chip Dip hotline from Jersey City, the one and only Kevin Brennan.
Why are you giving out my where I live?
Well, because one time I said New York City and you corrected me. You said Jersey City.
Oh.
I didn't want to go through that again.
Oh, yeah. You learned your lesson. Fool me once, shame on you.
I better not laugh because Jim Norton says I have a stupid laugh.
That was so funny when he fucking singled out your laugh. I mean, that was a good thing that like he actually had somebody to slam other than me, because if he slammed me, it looked like he was mad or still mad, you know. But going after a third party, you and Brian, was perfect. Because Gary Gulman was after me, right?
You kind of told me the story a little bit. Like, what exactly happened? Because he blocked you on Twitter.
Before I tell you the story, my point is, like, after that, people are like, oh, man, it's fucking great what you're doing, like, I'm trashing everybody, I give zero fucks, whatever, I'm just making fun of Sam, but, I give zero fucks, but, oh, man, it's great, and then, like, after when I was done the show, when I did Burning Bridges on Wednesday, and Norton called in, when I was walking home, my back was, like, really sore, And my wife's like, oh, yeah, maybe it's from tension. So I was like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I told her, yeah, Norton called in. It was pretty tense, So it's like, and then Gary Gulman wants to beat me up because he's been giving all these writing tips. I don't know if the people who listen to the show, I don't know if they know Gary Gulman. But anyway, he's a comic. He's on Twitter, Gary Gulman. But he was, he was giving all these writing tips, like he's some kind of fucking writing fucking god. He was giving them for the month of January, and then I thought it was going to be for a month, and then they kept going into February. So finally, I retweeted one of his tweets, and I said, "Listen, the dirty little secret about Gary Gulman is just like basically he's a mental patient. Like if he's the least bit disrupted, if any kind of disruption in the audience, he like loses his mind. Like he's a fucking genius, and don't interrupt a genius, And the last time I'd seen him at the Cellar, he flipped out on some lady, and it was like one of those situations where, at the Cellar or at the Village Underground, you're not that far away from the stage, but you're far enough away that like it looked like he was talking to nobody, because
right.
It wasn't like you could hear a disturbance, and then this one was like, and then he just basically maybe a woman didn't laugh right or said was talking to her date or whatever, and he fucking flips out at her, but it looks like from the back, like this guy's losing his mind because he's like flipping out on nothing, And then he basically ruined the crowd. I'm like, so I basically called him out, and then the last time I saw him, which was like 2 weeks ago, I go to the Comedy Cellar, the original Comedy Cellar. He sees me. I'm on after him. He stops the show to just stare at me as I walk by to go to the bathroom, because you have to go through the middle of the room to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Then he does it when I'm coming out of the bathroom. And then once he's done with the set, I'm standing in the back. He comes, shakes my hand. He's got these big fucking ape hands, And he grabs my hand and starts squeezing it harder and harder. And then I'm like, okay, I guess this is it. I guess this is fucking when a black guy fucking does something to you, he shoots you. When a big Jew does it, he just squeezes your hand really hard.
Like he was just trying to intimidate you. He was trying to intimidate you.
Yeah. Squeezing my hand like real hard. Didn't say a word. I didn't say a word. Just kept squeezing my hand harder and harder until the guy brought me right up right after basically he was done. So he had to let go, or else I'm gonna have to fucking. I'll be like, hey, Gary's holding my hand. So the point is, it's like it's not. There are repercussions to being a fucking Serpico. I call myself a Serpico, Frank Serpico, where everybody else in the police force hates me. But whatever. It's like I'm not gonna just sit around and act like Gary Gulman's a genius, or Neil Brennan's a genius, or fucking like Jim Norton wasn't holding a grudge. Because basically I'm supposed to be afraid of everybody. You're supposed to be afraid of everybody who can hurt you. In your career, and I mean that's how you got in trouble. People are like, "How dare you fucking say a fucking?" And I sent a fucking text to Louis last week too. I was like, "Fuck this," because I got another date. I was supposed to be with Louis in Atlanta this week, and it was canceled. It was canceled like a couple of weeks ago. I knew it was canceled, but they said he might do something local, And then, they email me on Monday, and they go, yeah, we're not going to do anything. The week's going to stay canceled. So I texted Louie. I go, hey, man, because I deal with his assistant,
Yeah.
So I didn't want to, like, be a dick to her, because it's nothing to do with her. So I basically texted her. I go, hey, thanks for having me on the by far the worst comedy tour of all time. So, but he never gets back to me anyway, unless, like, when I broke my elbow, I text him. I'm like, yeah, I just broke my, and then like with some kind of emergency situation, he'll get back to me. But I just let him know, like, hey man, this tour really sucks, And again, I didn't even tell my wife I did that, 'cause she'd be like, you're fucking nuts.
Yeah, that is he was the guy who he helped you out, man.
Yeah, but not really. How did he help me out?
You opened up for him in a bunch of places.
Huh?
He opened up
like 4. No, he was basically my point. I mean, it was basically, it probably would have made him laugh because, he thinks that kind of stuff's funny. We all do. After you do a comedy for a while. Like, the texts I send to Attell are so brutal, and then he'll just send back, like a day later, he'll send back, ha-ha. And then when I see him, he'll be like when he did Bumping Mics with
Jeff Ross.
With Jeff Ross, I said, I texted him. I go, is the how many did they do? They did 2. They did 3 episodes or something, or they did.
They did 3 episodes on Netflix, but they tore with it too.
Yeah, they did 3 episodes. So I said, is the oh yeah, because I guess they did 3 different nights or whatever. So I said, is the I go, I just watched episode 1. Is that the best one? Because I don't want to waste my time if that's, basically I forget how I worded it, but basically the first one was so bad. Is 2 and 3 as bad as this? Because I don't have time for it. Because I thought it was shitty, So Attell sees me and he's like, and he just laughs. But I don't know Louis as well as I know Attell, but I've known Louis long enough that it's like basically like, I mean, listen, if they're I only have one more date on this tour. The tour is only booked out to June. And I only have one more date before June. So my point is, listen, they're canceling dates on me. I'm not even doing anything. So at least if they cancel the next date I have, at least I'll get my money's worth. At least I'll be like, hey, maybe they're mad.
But here's the thing. Everyone hates Louis, so why would you jump on the pile?
I wasn't like, I know Louis under stress, so I didn't like say he was an asshole. I basically was like, basically, I also was letting him know, like, I'm getting my weeks canceled because I don't think he knows. Like, I think he just cancels. I don't think he knows. So I'm like, basically, the 2 weeks they had canceled were both my weeks.
Oh.
So I don't think he has any clue. And I think that, so I'm basically going like, hey man, you're canceling my week. So basically, like, and then as kind of like a joke, like, this is easily the worst comedy tour of all time.
You should have said you should have told him you were canceling my weeks and then say that.
No, I did.
Oh, okay. Cancel some of Lynn Coplett's weeks.
No, that's basically what I'm saying. Because I think she tells him, like, well, they see each other more because they live near each other. I think they like walk their dogs together or something. But I think she's like, I think he'll go like, because he'll just do it because none of these weeks are set up in advance. So I think he just does like what he feels like doing at the time, depending on like how he's feeling. And she'll probably go like, well, why don't you cancel that week? Because I'm not on that week. And I'll go, all right. So I'm basically like, hey man, you're fucking canceling my weeks,
You should blame Lynn Coplett's. She's the one canceling them.
Huh?
Blame Lynn Coplett's. It seems like she's the one.
No, but I can't assume that. I'm not going to assume that because then it looks like I'm fucking crazy. Then it looks like I'm paranoid. I'm basically like, hey man, he knows I'm a dick. Like when I came back to, I mean, that's why he likes it now. He likes the fact that I'm being like more of a dick than I used to be. Because before I was more like reserved,
Yeah.
Because even before he got into trouble, he said one time I saw him at the cellar. He goes, he said, and he goes, yeah, I saw you. I listened to you on Opie and Norton today. He goes, it was really funny. You got in a fight with a caller. You said you want to meet him at Panera Bread on 6th Avenue. I go, yeah, the guy was a fucking asshole. I go, everybody calls, be like, I'm like, yeah, let's fight for real, So he and all the things, like, since I came back from California in 2014. Like all the times where I thought, oh, Louis gonna be pissed. Like things I did or said or whatever, or like the time I took a picture at the Comedy Cellar. I took a picture because I was giving him shit because my wife bought Horace and Pete.
Oh, those were the early days. Those were the early days.
Credit card.
Yeah.
It didn't say Horace and Pete or Amazon or anything. It said Louis C.K. So basically, I was basically giving Louis C.K. $31 from my credit card because me and my wife put it on our joint credit card. So I look at the bill. I go, this motherfucker has all this money, and now I'm giving him $31 of my fucking hard-earned fucking money. So I saw him. I was giving him shit, like just joking,
Well, the karma was he lost $31 million. So your $31, there it is.
Yeah. So then he goes. Then I took a picture. I was gonna take, and then I put it on Instagram. But he was sitting right across from me at the Comedy Cellar. So he was looking down. And I was just going to take a picture and put it up as like a joke. Hey, this motherfucker's $31 of mine. So then I took his picture, when I took his picture, like, he looked up and, like, he had his glasses on, so, like, the flash kind of flashed a little bit, and he kind of gave me a look like, come on, man, don't take my picture. He didn't say anything. But then he left, like, a minute later or 2 minutes later. So I said, I go, you think he left because I took the picture? And Estie's like, it didn't help. So then I was like, oh, Louis probably gonna, but he never gets mad. I don't think he gets mad. I mean, like, it's not like he doesn't know me. So, like, even if I did this, I was just like, I just had it. I fucking had it. I'm like, another, it's like you just get to, it's like show business sucks, and it's like I get to the point where I'm like, okay, what are they going to do? They've already done everything they possibly can. So, like, what are they going to do more? Like, okay, then fucking fire me. I'm like, fire me off the one. Like, at this point, the one more date that I have with Louis, it's not even going to fucking make a difference. So, it's not going to, like, I already lost money, by losing the fucking dates because I lost some of the weeks were good weeks, like long weeks. The longer the week, the more you make. So, and I didn't lose a fortune, but it doesn't matter. But like, if they cancel this next week, I'll be like, all right, well, at least I gave them a reason. I hadn't given them a reason until now. I fucking, they said don't give any, don't be very like tight-lipped. Don't tell anybody about the dates or, because they're all surprise dates, and I did everything they asked me and then some,
Well, Louis,
so
I heard
I didn't talk about on my podcast what I would do. Like, I did one podcast at Missoula's company, and I just came back from like the first dates I did with them in Albany and Saratoga Springs, and we did the Missoula's company next day, and they were just asking me. Brian and Adam were asking me about the gig, and I was just I was too chatty about it, so I put it up, and then I told Adam, I go, just take it down. It was just too much. I didn't say that much, but I was still too much that I was like, it looks like I'm a fucking chatty Cathy, So I was a good boy, and then that's my reward for being a good boy. I got fucking 2 weeks canceled. It has nothing to do with anything except that he's exhausted. Like, I know it's nothing to do with him, but I'm basically saying, like, I know, like, I didn't say he was a fucking dick. He fucked me over. I was basically saying, like, it was just the worst tour ever because you thought it was gonna be like great. And then I got all these dates with all these available. Like, they asked me for availability for basically the first half of the year. They had all these dates, and I didn't even get like a ton of dates. I got a pretty good amount, and then I got 4, and then 2 of them got canceled. So I was like, all right, well, this really sucks a bag of dicks. So
Now, so what do you should go on Jim and Sam next week since Jim they clearly enjoyed you and you guys got it fixed up, and I think you should go on there and talk about it.
Yeah, but Brian said it too. But the only problem with that is then it looks like I'm almost doing it like as a bit. Like I did it to get back on the show. But we have off next week from Cumia, so from Burning Bridges. So I might, because we'll have more free time. So Brian's kind of like, let's go over there and because Brian's dying to have Norton like just trash him.
Yeah, he's obsessed with that. He's obsessed with Norton.
Because he listens to the show every day, so he just thinks it's like amazing, but even when they did the show, I didn't listen to the show, but they were saying what they were saying, like they don't have a problem with me.
No, they enjoy you, and it's like Jim said, you don't even ask to come on, so you're like mad saying Jim has a grudge, but I didn't realize you never asked to come on, and that changes the game.
Yeah, but also, Mark Norman doesn't ask to come on. Like they have a lot of guys that they ask to come on. Okay.
Yeah.
So I get that. Like I have my own shows too, and I ask certain guys to come on. So that's fine. But like, so they don't. They never really asked me to. In the past, I've always basically asked to come on. Sometimes they'll, with the Dave Landau thing. They did ask me to come on for that stuff, and when I quit Cumia, they asked me to come on. So like if there's something like Sam's like I think more active on Twitter, and so he knows when something's something's good. Like the Landau thing was good, and when I quit Cumia was good because when I quit Cumia, Keith called in and he was defending their shows and I was attacking their shows. So I mean it was good radio. So. Sam, they basically don't want me in there to like shoot the shit.
Yeah.
So they just want me to come in there when something's popping. So I get that, but also it's like it's been a long time, and then if they had me back on Chip Jefferson, I knew something was off because I knew something was up anyway because I did send him a nasty text. It wasn't that nasty. It was just like pay me my fucking money. What do you like? I've known him since like the early '90s. So that's I don't know how many years that is, like 25 or whatever. But like, we've never had a fucking any. I didn't hang with his crew, but we never had like a falling out. There's been nothing but respect. How you doing? Good job. So I was like, okay, I don't know what the fuck this is. But again, like I said on my show, or at some point, I go, yeah, but you don't know. Like when I started doing my podcast with Lenny Marcus, that was like, I didn't know Lenny was such a fucking freak. I didn't know Bobby Kelly, like, as good as Bobby Kelly is at stand-up, like, he's bad at business, it's like remarkably bad. Because, like I said on my show, like, Chip Jefferson is their biggest show. They're not even selling merch. They're selling Chip Jefferson merch on Luis Gomez, on Gas Digital.
Why do you care? Who gives a shit?
No, you know why I care? Because everybody act like, oh, you had a good thing going at Riotcast. I'm like, no, I didn't. We didn't make any money, and I had to split it with Lenny 50-50, and there was nothing to split. They were never going to make any money. So everyone's like, oh, you were a fucking dick to Bobby Kelly because he put you on the map. I'm like, yeah, but they're idiots. They're like, how can you not? But again, they don't pay rent. They do their. Bobby Kelly does the show free at above the Comedy Cellar, so there's no rent, there's no overhead. And even with me, when I started working there, in April of 2016, we were talking about like, people were like, you guys should sell T-shirts. And then 6 months later, Bobby goes, your T-shirts are ready. And at that point, Lenny had already quit. It was like, I'm like, are you serious? And then he's like, well, you got to pay me because we made them. I'm like, wow. And it's just, they're not trying to make money. And when you're not trying to make money, shit happens. Like, or the opposite, nothing happens. Where like Cumia's trying to make money, they make money. Luis Gomez is trying to make money, they're making money. They pay rent, they have overhead, they have to make money, and whatever the expression is, but you have to, if you need to make money, you'll come up with you'll invent ways to make money, or you'll be more aggressive, as opposed to Bobby, like, no, we're just doing it because we're all friends and we're all trying to, sell tickets on the road. And Bobby doesn't sell tickets on the road. That's another dirty little secret. So,
no, I worked with Bobby. Bobby has a following, and I remember we were standing outside the cellar, and you said, you remember when you fired me from Riotcast? And Bobby's like, no, I sold you. He sold you to Cumia. That's what he said.
Yeah, like a slave. No, you know what he wanted? He wanted money because they had to put some money into to make the song for my show, which we still use. It's a good song, but anyway, he put some money into that, so he basically wanted that money back. So
yeah. Well, you got to give Bobby credit, though. He kind of helped get the thing going for you. I mean, now you're
I say that. I never deny that. I'm just saying, like, why are they doing this if they're not trying to make money? I mean, Bobby will say, well, no, we try to, your fans learn about me and my fans learn about you, and then it's all about selling tickets on the road, but it's like, I'm making money every week just podcasting. So I'm not at this point. It's like I did the right thing basically because it's like I needed money. I can't. I don't draw on the road like Bobby does. I'm not a road comic like Bobby is. Bobby's been on the road for like 30 years.
I thought you said he didn't draw.
Years. Huh?
I thought you said he didn't draw.
He doesn't draw. He's a road comic, but he doesn't draw. He's not like a fucking. I mean, that's what people have run comic clubs. It's not like he doesn't sell any tickets, but he's not like a fucking. He doesn't come in and people are like, oh shit. And partly because he's been. I mean, Attell doesn't draw either because they've been on the fucking. They've just been doing the road forever. You know?
Attell does draw now with that bump in mics. People are coming out to see him in the woodworks.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not working like when you look at his website. He's still working like comedy clubs and not great comedy clubs. And he was at fucking Mount Airy Lodge, which is like in the Poconos, which is like even if they offered me that, I'd be like, I don't know.
So you go to other people's websites and check out their dates?
Yeah, I got free time. No, once I put the kids to bed, I like to sometimes like troll people on Twitter.
Investigate.
I see what they're doing on Twitter.
Investigate.
No, sometimes I go to people's website because I have a guy who does my website, Bruce. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit him up. I think I need my website done. What's his thing?
Bruce. I don't know his last name actually, but he's at Hudson Web Development.
Go to Kevin Brennan's website because I'm gonna try to get mine done too.
No, but he's really good and he's really like creative. But so I'll look at people's websites, or I'll go. You know, you go on their Twitter. And then or you go on their Wikipedia, and then they'll have a connection to their website, and then you go to the website, and it doesn't exist. It's like a Verizon generic page. I'm like, man, these people are like out of their minds. And then they act like they're real comics. It's like, you know, people don't use the website as much as they used to, but you still gotta have a fucking website. You know, like a working website. So it's weird.
Well, I think you should go on Jim and Sam next week with this whole Patton thing because I'm still dealing with it. And I know you got involved, and I had to put.
What did they say?
Well, I didn't go to the Comedy Store yesterday because Patton was there, and I didn't want to cause a problem. I didn't want to make a big thing. I know Adam the Booker; he's a good dude. I don't want him to be in a bad position where he's like, Chad, you got to leave, and I don't want to be in that position either. But everyone.
Wait, did Adam say something to you?
No, he didn't. He did not say anything to me, but I don't want to put him in a position. If Patton knows I'm there, he'll tell me to leave, and I'm scared. I'm scared to go into the comedy clubs, man. I know a lot of comics.
And is Adam at the Comedy Store every night?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, he oversees everything. Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a good dude, but I don't want to be in a position where I have to leave because of another comic, and I'm scared to go to the clubs now. And it's unbelievable how many people block me on Twitter because of this.
Yeah, maybe if I go on Jim and Sam, we'll have you call in or something. You can address the. What did they say?
Who, Jim and Sam?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't hear it, but I heard people saying that they were talking about how it got pretty ugly, and Patton's trolls were coming at me. I guess Sam Roberts really enjoyed it because he likes controversy.
Yeah, he's a wrestling guy, so he likes any kind of controversy, even if it's fake.
Yeah, so I wanted it to die down so it can go away, so I could go back to doing that podcast, which I'm still not allowed in the studio. I don't know what's going on, but everyone out here is afraid. They're so afraid of everything, and I'm not used to this. I'm used to busting balls. I like instigating. I like getting you going. I think it's fun, and I've never been in this position where like I'm not getting booked because of it.
Yeah, but you know what it is? You have to like I was listening to Joe Manarese's podcast, you know, and I only bring him up because it just seems like he's like one of those guys that like, you know, he didn't really make it. He used to open for Artie. He used to open for, I guess he opens for Sebastian, and it's like after a while you just become like afraid, and then you become like then you start thinking like, okay, what else can I do to what, you know, like because your like dreams are shattered. So
yeah.
then you get like real like you're kind of afraid. You don't you want to seem like you're beaten but proud still or something. I don't know if this makes any sense, but like that's what you're supposed to do. There's all kinds of people in comedy and showbiz. They're like, you know, I didn't make it. I'm beaten, but now I'm a vegan, or now I'm gonna work in a garden, or I'm gonna work on my mental health, or I'm gonna smoke a lot of pot. all kinds of shit where people try to like deal with whatever. The reason they do that, or the reason everyone is afraid in showbiz, is because nobody really has a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if your reputation is like bad, like mine is, no one's gonna hire you. But I got a job from being a dick. So I don't know how many jobs there are out there there's probably not that many. So most people get jobs because they're considered easy. Like all writers, they don't even have to be a good writer. They just have to be like considered easy to work with, you know.
Well, I'm easy to work with. I always like you used to make fun of me early on that I kiss comics' ass and I'm buddy, but I keep it real.
No, that's what I'm saying. But you also, I used to tell Florence, I go, Chad should just stay here in New York and be like a professional troll, because that's what you like to do. I mean, you like to just fucking stir up trouble, whether it was with me or whatever. So, but the point is that like people are afraid because, you know, even if you get a job, it might not last, but the worst thing you can have is like a bad reputation of like, you know, difficult to work with, or he's like crazy or a hothead. I mean, Norm Macdonald has a fucking bad reputation just because he's like, you know, crazy and you know, so that's what, you know, that's not why he didn't, like, he never, like, the TV shows that he was on never, like, took off, but, you know, I mean, I've heard comedy club bookers, like, I heard Norm Macdonald's own agent, I don't know any names, I don't know if this is true, but I worked the guy at this one comic club, when I was working at Norm's show, when I was just done, I go, you ever bring Norm in here? We're talking about how funny Norm is, and they go, yeah, his agent was like, he's really fucking, he's a handful. And Norm himself is basically saying, like, he doesn't like comedy clubs. He doesn't like talking. He doesn't like to talk for 45 minutes. He doesn't like fucking, he doesn't even like to walk through the crowd. He says he has, like, a phobia about walking through the crowd. So I mean, he's a different situation. What I'm saying, like, there's so many people that will just do exactly what they have to do to work, to make it, and or to be considered, like, easy to work with. So, yeah, so if you have a reputation of being difficult, it's fucking hard. That's why everyone's afraid, because there are repercussions. Like if you go to the Comedy Store and, like, Neil said that you were talking shit about him, it's like that's all it needs. That's all it needs is like, oh, Chad's a shit talker. Chad'll shit talk comics and he does at the Comedy Store, and he don't even work there. He's not even a paid regular, and he's shitting on the other paid regulars.
But it's not true. It's not true. I was never
around. No, but if that gets around, it doesn't even matter if it's true. Like if it gets around, then you consider, like, that's why I went after Dave Rath on Facebook too, because he's like he's thinking like, oh, he's gonna come at me, and he was gonna say. He said he was going to release all the scenes from Crashing that I did to embarrass me, to show what a bad actor I am. I'm like, I don't do it. I go do it. I don't give a fuck. I go, I'm not even an actor. I don't pride myself on being an actor. But he thought he was like, he's going to, you know, you'll never work again in this town. I'm like, first of all, I don't plan on it. I don't fucking plan on it, and I'm not an actor, and I'll fucking stab you.
Like, that's not professional for a manager to do. Like, what? I mean, why would he do that? Like, why would he even get involved? Like, he's a manager.
No, it's highly unprofessional. And for him to be like personal attack on a Facebook thread.
Yeah, he told me. He's like, he said I ruined my career. I'm like, I don't even know you.
Yeah, he wishes he could ruin. He wishes he could do anything to anyone's career, make it or not make it.
I was up for something recently. I can't say what it was, and I didn't get it, and it came from a high recommendation, and I don't know why, and I'm just speculating. I really do believe it was because of the Patton situation. That whole me joking and I really do believe people got scared.
I believe it. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like it's scary out there, because
that's why I'm scared now.
It's a show business town. It's a show business town. Like, and New York is not a show business town. New York is, people in show business. Like, if you're a stand-up, if you're an actor, whatever. But out there, everybody's about, like, you know, who's famous, who's on the billboard on Sunset Boulevard. They don't have fucking billboards on 6th Avenue.
Yeah.
With fucking Nick Swartzen's faggot face on there.
Come on, I like Nick.
Every time I see like somebody says they do a special and they take a picture of their billboard, I'm just like, Steve Byrne. I'm like, give me a break. I mean, it's like, stop. But they don't have. But out there, it's huge, and comics are huge. Comics consider themselves artists out there.
Well, Joe Rogan, I actually talked to him briefly, and he says, build your own pirate ship. He's like, don't rely on the industry, build your own pirate ship. I didn't even realize he even knew who I was, which was cool. So
Why did you saw him after the Patton thing?
yeah, I was in the lobby at the Hollywood Improv, and Tim Dillon. I was talking to Tim Dillon. He's out here hanging out, and he just said, he goes, what the hell's, like, he like acknowledged me, like, what's going on? I go, I got out of control. He's like, yeah, build your own pirate ship. Don't rely on these people. So I was like, okay.
Well, he's the king of that. He's the king of that.
Yeah, but the difference between his pirate ship and mine is he actually did a lot of stuff in this industry to help build that pirate ship.
No, but, I was talking to, I think I was talking to Yoshi about it, and he said that Rogan got into a lot of trouble with the Mencia thing. Like, he got bounced out of the Comedy Store, so, for a while.
Yeah, he took a hit.
Huh?
He took a hit. That's why he started doing that podcast with Brian Redband.
No, that's what I'm saying. So, and I get, everything, the worm turned on that, but, like, for a while it looked like, him standing up for what he believed in was going to fucking, was going to hurt him long term. And then now look, because now he's like the fucking alpha fucking in comedy in L.A.
Well, he's the Johnny Carson of the internet. Like, you go on a show for 2 hours, you're good. You're selling tickets.
Right. So and basically all because show business was like, yeah, we don't know what to do with you. So he's like, all right, I'll do it. Even what Tim Dillon's doing, I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but like now he sits at a desk and does these fucking rants. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it seems to be working.
No, he's building his own pirate ship. People are coming to see him. He's getting that cult following. And that's what I think I'm going to have to do. I think I'm just going to have to go that route because, I mean, I don't want to live like living in fear of what Patton Oswald's going to do to me or so-and-so is going to say about me or who's going to make something up because it's just not worth it. And I feel like that's the way I have to go. That's why I'm going to try to build a Patreon, build a YouTube page, and go from there.
You should do like a talk show where like it's your talk show and you have a cutout of Patton Oswald and you just go, right, Patton?
He'll probably sue me.
Like he's like your Johnny. He's like your Johnny Carson. Yeah, that would be great. It'd be great if he fucking sued you. It'd be great publicity. I
thought I lived here in 2005. I started comedy out here, and I got to tell you, it's so different from what it used to be. It's not fun. I'm not having fun with comedy, and everyone going on stage. It's the same premise. It's the same subject matter. It's all social. Everyone's woke, and it's just not my vibe. I outgrew this, I think.
Yeah, LA's bad. LA's bad because unless you're Mexican or like Bobby Lee or something where you can just say whatever. But if you're like a white dude, they expect you to do kind of a white guy kind of comedy thing where it's like, you got to be kind of woke. You can't do fucking, you got to talk about Starbucks and traffic and fucking Instagram and like, so, but like Tim Dillon has a little advantage because he can always say he's gay. Whether or not he's gay is I don't know. I've never seen him fuck a man, but
I like Tim. He's cool.
No, I do too. But I'm saying like he can always like use the I'm gay, I'm a fat gay guy as his thing. Like he can always be like, hey, and people are like, you can't say it. He goes, fuck you, I'm a fat gay guy. Or if you're Mexican or if you're black, they'd be like, you can't say it. But like, I'm black. My great grandfather was a slave. So. But if you're white, they don't think you have any backstory,
This is what's stupid. I'm a white guy named Chad. In high school, I played sports. I had a lot of friends, but nobody knows I was abused growing up. I grew up in a single-parent household. My mom dumped me for 3 years. We were poor. So I had a tough upbringing. I had a super tough upbringing, but they just say, oh, he's a white guy named Chad who played sports, so that's who he is.
Yeah. No, that's true. So, and you can't there's nothing you can do about it because, like, this guy, Frank Leotti, I think that's his last name. I think that's what he said. Anyway, he's friends with Jessica Kirson, and he's gay, but he's like a real, like, nobody thinks he's gay. And
yeah.
I said, when you do stand-up, do you get frustrated that people, like, you can't really, he goes, yeah, because nobody thinks I'm gay. I go, yeah, and there's nothing you can do to change that. Like, he's like a big dude. He's not effeminate. And so he can be like, I'm gay. They're like, we don't care. You're not gay. Okay, Neil Brennan's gay. You're not gay.
Jesus.
So how they perceive you is, is kind of what you are to them, and it's stand up. They don't really give a shit that you're that you don't know your dad. I mean, if you have a joke about it, that's fine, but they still see you as like, you know, a healthy-looking white guy, you know. I mean, even if you were sickly, that would help you, you know.
Yeah, maybe I should just start just totally just eating lettuce and, you know.
No, like if you go up like Mike Birbiglia, you know, like he does his Broadway show and he still is like, you know, he goes up like you know, all schleppy and like, you know, and the baggy fucking khakis, and I guess he dressed up a little bit more, but like his whole thing is just like, you know, I don't, you know, I'm just, you know, I sleepwalk. So then the crowd's like, yeah, like, so the guy's doing Broadway, but they still feel sorry for him because the way he looks, and he's, you know, just like you know, he has all these things, you know, and so it's like fucking the opposite is Matt Reese. Matt Reese is always talking about how he, you know, he's got OCD. No, he's got all these like issues, and like he's got a new podcast called Medicated. But it's like nobody believes that he's got, because he doesn't seem like a neurotic guy. You know, he seems like just like a regular Italian guy that's doing stand up. So you can talk, you know, forever about like what you are, but they don't see you as that. So if they don't see you as that, then there's a problem, you know?
Yeah. Well, the one thing I do know is after the whole Patton situation, there was a lot of comics that unfollowed me and blocked me. So the ones that unfollowed me, I just blocked them because it's just like, really, you're gonna unfollow me for a Twitter feud I had with a comic? Like, is Patton gonna go through your time? Oh, he's friends with Chad. We can't be friends with him anymore. That's what.
But how do you know? How do you know if a guy unfollows you on Twitter?
Because somebody tagged me in a tweet with one person, and I went to their account and they blocked me from out of nowhere.
Oh.
And then I just went through my Twitter because I don't follow a lot of people, and I looked at everyone that unfollowed me, and I just blocked them because I'm like, I know what you're all about now. They're just, I call them climbers. They climb. They're here to climb. They were never friends with me. Like if everything, like you're throwing everything away. You're pissing off everybody. I'm still gonna be friends with you even if you're not doing comedy. That's how I judge my comedian friends. I'll still be friends with you. But there's people that just use you to get ahead.
Yeah, I mean, especially in LA, because you need to be doing well, you know, because it's not like you can try to make a name as a stand-up out there because it's just not a lot of stage time. So, you know, they're always working some angle, and there's more money out there. There's more show business money. So, you know, you can maybe get like you can become a director or like this or that. There's more show business money because, you know, that's where show business is focused, and it's a show business town. So yeah. Everyone's always trying to work on like an angle, you know. But I'm not good at it. I never was. So and you know, me and Attell were best friends from like the beginning, and Attell never did a fucking thing for me, and he wouldn't. I could be fucking in quicksand, and he would be like, "Listen, did you fuck Sarah Silverman?" I'd be like, "I did." Well,
he put you in stuff, and did he like try to get you a role and you fucked it up because you were a bad actor?
Yeah, no, but I'm saying it's like the one person I tried to like be friends with, or that we were friends, he did almost zero for me. So after that, I was like, well, what's the point of trying to fucking kiss up to people? Obviously, I'm not very good at it. Some people are good at it. I'm not very good at it. So.
Well, I'm nice to people, but when you fuck me over, I'll be a dick. I'm loyal, but if you fuck me over, that's when I become a dick because I'm a pretty cut and dry kind of guy. That's how I handle my business.
Yeah, you're a Midwest guy. You're from Cleveland.
Yeah, so I don't have that in me. I can be nice, but I can't be fake. I'm really bad at being fake. I show too much emotion in my true colors.
Yeah.
Even I got mad at you one time because you went too far, and I even texted to you. I forgot what it was, but I was like, "Hey, dude," it was a joke about my mom, and I was real sensitive about it.
Yeah, I should have waited till at least the funeral.
Yeah. Even Brian McCarthy, when he made fun of Brody 2 days after he died, like I was still raw about it. So I'm like, so I got mad at Brian.
Yeah, no, he was wrong. It was ridiculous.
He's like, it's a comedy show.
Huh?
He's like, he called into a comedy show, and he tells the worst jokes of all time.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, so, but you know, I mean, yeah. Hey, listen. Is Brian a bad person? No. Am I a bad person? No. So it's like, you know, but the thing is, like, if what annoys me is people, like I said, the perception of what you are. So, like, is Jeff Ross a nice guy? No, but people think he's a nice guy because that's his perception. So it's always annoying to me when people who who have this perception of being like, you know, such wonderful people, and then they you know, really behind the scenes they're fucking assholes, you know.
Yeah. Well, what's
like,
your
even Neil, like, not meeting my, you know, people always bring up to Neil like, you never met my son, and it's like, yeah, like, how do you explain it? Like, and Neil's like obsessed with like his image, and you know, he always wants to be seen with fucking famous people, and he, you know, classic star fucking, but it's like, but Neil's like really just you know, when you get right down to it, he's just a worthless piece of shit. You know?
Well, I really do. I'm convinced that I'm friends with you. That's why he doesn't like me. Period. Because I was always cool with Neil. I had conversations with him. You know, he was always nice to me, and then all of a sudden, I really do believe it's because I'm friends with you.
So you're welcome.
All right. Okay. Before
you don't want to be friends with him. You don't want to be friends with him anyway. No. Yes, he just did a podcast with like Jeff Leach or something, and people were saying, "Oh, you should," you know, he said something about, or Jeff Leach asked him about Neil's and mine's relationship, and Neil wouldn't address it. He talked about like my comedy or whatever. Like whatever. I didn't listen to it, but people were like, "Oh, you should hear what he said." And then Jeff Leach jumped in on Twitter. He's like, "Yeah, he didn't want to. I brought it up. He didn't want to go there, so I didn't want to push it." So I'm like, okay, but the fact of the matter is, like, Neil's obsessed with his image because Neil knows it doesn't really matter what you are; it's how people perceive you. You know.
Okay, well, I'm gonna pretend. I'm gonna pretend everyone loves me.
I'm saying like, yeah, no, but I'm saying like, I mean, your image is fucked, but I'm saying like, but you have like the flip side. You're actually a nice guy. You're actually a solid guy. And then people think you're a gigantic asshole, you know.
But, you know, a couple of years ago, everybody was asking me, taking me on the road. Dalia, Kreischer, they were all taking me out. And it's just because I was a decent guy. And now I'm getting bitter and angry.
Yeah. So, well, welcome.
What's your advice to me before we wrap this up?
I would say, listen, I don't think you should be out there. I've said it before. I said it even when you were moving out there. I didn't like the idea. But you know, I mean, you're out there for a couple. You know, you don't have any fucking ties out there. So, you know, I wouldn't go running. I wouldn't leave there now. I would just stick it out for a little bit and see how it goes. And then, but you know, then no one's gonna. It's not like they're gonna. I don't know how to explain it, but like Dalia and these guys and fucking like, you know, like, I don't know Dalia, but like Bert. You know, Bert is like the wild and crazy guy. He is. That's his perception. But like, Bert's a businessman. You know what I mean?
No, you know what? He is. I didn't realize how hard that dude works. He comes off like he's partying.
But I'm not saying necessarily as a compliment. You know what I mean? Bert's having it both ways because he's like, he's a very good comic. He's a very likable guy. He would have his fans believe he's just a wild and crazy guy. But like, he's got his eye on the prize. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No, I mean, there was a lot of years where he wasn't making money, and now, you know, he's 44. The iron's hot, so he's trying to capitalize, and I get it.
No, I'm not. I don't blame him, but I'm saying like, you know, Bert can only stick around with a guy like you for so long because it's, you know, on some level, it's business. It's almost like the mafia out there. It's like, it's nothing personal, Chad. It's business. And I'm, you know, I can't be, you know, I like, you know what I mean? So these guys, like Godfrey will stick by you because he's not an LA guy, and Godfrey's more like, fuck that, you know.
Oh yeah, even with the bad thing,
the Chris D'Elia's and the fucking what's the girl's name who has the radio show?
Oh, Nikki Glaser.
Nikki Glaser, like people like that. Like I like Bert. I like Nikki. I don't know Chris D'Elia, but I'm saying like these people, they're gonna step away from you because of the Patton Oswald thing. Because that's just how it is in LA. Like if you're considered, it's almost like high school. Like if you're considered like not cool or everybody hates you now, they're gonna step away because that's just how high school works, and that's how show business works. And again, they're like, I'm the opposite. Like, if the more trouble you get into, the more I want you around me because it's better for my brand, and it's better for my show. Because I'm a dick, I don't want fucking. I mean, if you're a nice guy, you can come on my show, but it's better if you have a fucking shitty backstory, because for me that's more entertaining. Like I'm not amazed by stand-up anymore, or I don't know if I don't know when that stopped. But anyway, so like if I see someone like doing great in stand-up, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, that guy's amazing or she's amazing. Although I did say something about Nikki Glaser, I'm just saying like I don't get swept away by like the cult of personality and stand-up. So I'd rather just have somebody who's a fucking freak. Like I don't care if he's a good stand-up. If he's good on my show, I'd rather have that than some guy who's a good stand-up, you know.
Well, to Bert's defense, every time I call him, he picks up every single time, and even with this.
No, I love Bert. I'm saying, but Bert is a fucking businessman, and they're all learning from Rogan, and Rogan's a fucking great businessman. So I'm saying like Bert will be your friend, but Bert probably can't hang out with you at the Comedy Store right now because it's like you're too toxic, you know.
We hung out the other night. The other night we were at the store hanging out. He was cool about it.
Okay, then I'm totally wrong. I'm glad because I love Bert. So I hope that he's sticking by you. But I'm just saying for the most part in California and Hollywood and the Comedy Store and the Improv or the Laugh Factory, it's like people are gonna be like you know, they're gonna be like, oh shit, Chad. You know, they don't need the headache because again, it's business out there. In New York, nobody gives a fuck who you hang out with. You don't get judged by like, oh, you were talking to Chad, you know, like that kind of shit. It's like like when you're at the Comedy Cellar, nobody cares who you're sitting talking with. Like at the Comedy Store and at the fucking Improv, they do. So there is like a certain thing to that. But I'm just saying, like, if it becomes like if you're not getting anywhere and you're like you're not getting any work because people are like, well, you know, they can't bring you on the road with them because it might look bad for them or. You know, I mean, Patton Oswald, he's older than all these guys, so it shouldn't really have any reflection on, you know, Bert or Nikki Glaser or Crystalia because they're different generations of stand-up, you know. Like, Patton Oswald's more my generation, so that's why I was surprised that anyone would fucking, I mean, like, the newer guys are not even, I mean, they're not backing away from you anyway, right? Like, the guys that you're friends with.
No, everyone's cool. Like, you know, like Norman was down. Mark Norman was in L.A. the other day. He was hanging around, and yeah, a lot of comics came to my defense. A lot of them that I was surprised. And so, you know, with that being said, like I know I'm going to be okay. I'll be all right. But
yeah, but I still think there's going to be a problem out there just because you're considered a troublemaker. Like if you're considered like Stanhope's considered like a troublemaker, you know, because he fucking drinks a lot and he's crazy. But at this point, it's like he does it as a business model, you know. But if you're like really considered a legitimate troublemaker in California and you're like not a made man, it's always gonna be like, oh shit. So I mean, are you gonna break into the clubs there? I don't know. Like there might be like some fucking people talking behind your back, you know, like fucking David Rath or people like that. You know, they might, you know, they've been out there forever, so they're all friends with fucking the guys who run the clubs out there, and they'd be like, you know, they might put the word out that, you know, Patton Oswald, you know, just, you don't know. I mean, that could even happen in New York. I'm not saying it wouldn't happen in New York either. I'm just saying, like, L.A. is much more like, the reason I hate L.A. is because everybody in New York, everybody in L.A. loves Neil, and they all hate me, you know, just because Neil's like a big star fucker, and he plays the game right, and he sits there and listens to whoever, and you know this guy's great. Whoever he thinks whoever he's supposed to be kissing up to, he does. He doesn't give a fuck. Women, men, black, Chinese. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like whoever's hot. Like Neil shows up, all of a sudden Neil's there, you know. And I'm the opposite. So, and to me, it shouldn't be that way, but it is. You get judged on fucking how you operate in a business sense more than anything else, you know. So you're not good at it. You're not good at it because you have like a part of you that like loves chaos and loves fucking like anarchy, you know. And that's why you are the way you are, you know. So
well, I always been like, even when I was younger, attracted to troublemakers, problem people. Just like that's always been my people. They say you're a reflection of who you hang out with, so I guess that's why I'm friends with you.
Yeah, that's your Achilles heel. So again, I never did well in stand up. I mean, in showbiz, just because I'm the same way. Like, I like fucking losers, and like I'm not really attracted to like winners. And it's like when I see Jeff Ross or at the Improv, I mean at the Comedy Store, I'm not like, hey man, how's it going? Like, I don't give a fuck. I want him to fucking trip, like it's beyond. So I'm attracted to losers, and like especially. In show business and just, I mean, I started out watching the Letterman show, and the Letterman show was all about, like, losers, all like, they had all the fucking Larry Bud Melman, all these guys, they were all losers. That's why I love that fucking show. But now it's all about, like, winning and fucking, and it's just, it's, and you're the same way. So in LA, it's all about winning and who's winning, and if you're not winning, you're fucking, you better suck up to someone who's winning. So,
well, my conspiracy theory, not to get go down this road, and it's just my theory. I think Brody Stevens, even though he was like going on and off his medication, I think he saw what was going on in Hollywood and was bothering him, like how the things were shifting, and I think it really messed with his head, and that's why he started thinking those dark thoughts. I could totally see it.
Yeah, because even when he did that New Year's Eve thing at the Periscope at the Comedy Store, he was talking about everybody's car. He goes, "Look at all these beautiful cars." He goes, I have a 75 Avalon that I got from or 2005 Avalon that I got from my mom. So it was kind of depressing. I mean, it was very depressing knowing, like, I watched it after he killed himself. So it's very depressing in that context. But I think there is certain. I mean, I had to get out of when I lived in LA. I would just get I would get so depressed. But and like I never do here. I get into a funk. And I'll send Louis a fucking nasty text, but like I get into a funk here, but like it lasts for one day. Out there, it could last forever because it's rough. It's rough. Like if you think you're funny, and then Bill Bert shows up with his Lamborghini, and he takes a helicopter, and then you're like what the fuck did I do wrong? Like why does everybody hate me? And like even if they don't hate you, you're like, why does show business hate me? So show business has always kind of hated me, and I was always like, well, what did I do? And now I'm like, fuck it. Now I'm just like, fuck it. Fuck show business. I just shit on, I try not to shit on, I try not to, make up shit. Like, even when you sent me a text and you're like, hey, shit on this female comic, I'm like, I don't even have a beef with her. So I try to get, legitimate beefs. But,
I was trying to get a beef going with her.
Yeah, but I don't even know her. So I don't want to start a fake beef. So I'm saying, I got plenty to work on. I mean, I don't get along with half the people I work with at Cumia, fucking, I fucking tried to choke Dave Landau, so I got plenty. And then Norton, at some point, it's not, literally I step aside sometimes. I go, hey man, maybe it's you. I know it's me. I'm kidding, but I know it's me. But partly it's because I'm the show business rules. I never succeeded playing by the show business rules. So I'm like, why even fucking bother? Why not just go the other way and then get fans that way? And I didn't even know I would get fans. I figured I had nothing to lose, but now I have and the fans I have are very
loyal.
Devoted,
They're loyal. They came to my defense, and I'm like, I got to be honest with you. I was real fucked up over it when I was getting bombarded by Patton's 4.6 million Twitter followers just bombarding me, and your fans came. They were like the rebel army. They helped me, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, because they love an underdog. They love the underdog. And David Goliath for a story. I mean, they love. They're all probably like that too. They're always they just root for the underdog. So you became the underdog, and then they're all gonna fucking support you.
Isn't that?
I mean, Patton Oswald, come on, man. Patton Oswald, it's you could say oh, is he a great actor? No, he's just a dwarf. He's a little troll of a man, and is his stand-up great? I'm like, I don't know. I doubt it is. Is he funny like Attell's funny? No. I mean, nobody is, but it's who is he? Who do you compare him to? Is he has 4.6 million Twitter followers, based on his talent? I don't know. So again, it's oh, he's a great man and a great fucking wife killer and a great actor, and
By the way, when I said that, I didn't really know the backstory. It was just people were tweeting it at me, so I made that joke. That's the only reason I made that joke about him. And by the way, it was a joke, not a threat. So
no, I know, no, it's no police authority would have thought it was a threat. There's no way. I mean, for him to for him to be like that pathetic and make it like a threat. And we were talking about it yesterday, me and Berg and Gino, because Cumia was sick, so we sat in and did his show. It's like, why were they so defensive? It was like ridiculous that they were so offensive. I mean, defensive. Like if your wife died and you had nothing to do with it, you would just laugh it off. Like to even engage you in it was ridiculous. Like all you did was tweet that he was a fucking, the thing with Jordan Beale. But like the fact that he brought more attention to it, it's like, you would just laugh it off if it really was like nothing to it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I have like 20,000 followers, and I don't even get to half the replies. How does anyone get to the replies with 4.6 million followers? Like, he must be on that thing all day long.
Yeah, or maybe somebody does it for him. I don't know. It just hit me because the same thing was happening with Judd Apatow. Like anything I said about crashing or the show, he would know about it. I was like, and I wouldn't tag him. It wasn't on his tweet. It wasn't on his thread. I'm like, what the fuck? It became level. I'm like, I know he's busy. Like Judd Apatow's a very busy guy,
so
and I don't
Patton
even
Oswald.
have a problem with the guy. Like I just was like, I was basically doing it because I was a dick in crashing, and I was like basically in character. And every time I said something the least bit negative, he would chime in. I'm like, this is amazing how they fucking find this shit. You know?
Even with Pat, when I tweeted at him, I never thought my wildest dreams he would reply to it. I just kind of threw it out there, and I thought I was done with it. So,
yeah.
And then he got me in kind of a mood, and I just kept going with him. And then when I told him I wasn't chasing fame, and he started making the jokes, and Chris Titus jumped in. I'm like, all right, you guys want to mess around? Let's joke around. And I made fun of Chris Titus for wearing a Janet Jackson headset, and it got ugly. And now I'm blocked from both of them. And it's funny about Patton Oswald.
The Chris Titus thing was nuts because you don't even know him. He was bringing up your fucking DUI. It was like fucking. But again, that's how they like. Hey, I'm a fucking. And again, those guys are too extremely like liberal, fucking, anti-Trump, anti-fucking bullying, everything, right? But like, that's classic fucking Hollywood bullying, show business bullying. When you get your fucking Twitter followers, when you have the guy outnumbered by like millions, and then you sick your Twitter followers on a guy, that's ridiculous.
It's funny because Patton came up as an alt comic. He wasn't mainstream. He was against the grain. He was a punk comic. And now it's reversal. He's the system now. He's in a Pixar film.
Yeah, of course. That's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to use whatever, to then they can be in charge. That's like the nature of the beast. It's like they want to use their fucking, he made it the way he could make it. He wasn't going to make it as a mainstream fucking Seinfeld type of a comedian. So, and now now I'm making the rules. Now this is how it is. And it's like, but the bullying of you was just like, and I called him out on that. And then he didn't tweet it directly, but he tweeted something about like, someone's calling me a bully, and what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to ignore it? Or no, if I ignore it, they say I'm being a coward for ignoring it. And if I don't ignore it, they're saying I'm a coward because I'm being a bully. And it's like either way, it's like you still have the guy outnumbered and you could have just ignored it.
And you're rich and famous. You made it. So it doesn't matter what I have to say. I mean, You're
so rich and famous, you can kill your wife and get away with it.
Kevin Brennan at 666 on Twitter.
Take that part out.
Is that your Chip Chipperson?
I went to acting school for that. Take that part out.
Cut that part out.
It's so funny that Norton remembers your annoying laugh.
Yeah.
And that's the best quality. When I first met you and you came over and did the fucking podcast, remember you came over to my house with Florentine?
Yeah.
And even before I jumped in, you guys started, and Florentine was. I couldn't even hear what you were saying because you were just talking on the mic. And I think I was like doing the dishes, and you were like fucking cracking up. And I was like, this is gonna be a good podcast.
Well, there's a video online of when Artie and Anthony were doing the show together, and I was guest. I laughed the whole time. Like I'm barely talking. Yeah. I'm just laughing.
No, it's so funny, and then that's basically your best quality, and Norton goes after it. His annoying laugh. That was classic. Anyway, shout out to Bert. I love Bert. I like Nikki Glaser a lot too. So I'm not in all due respect that I mean I admire people that Especially like somebody like, Bert hasn't, he was never like a slam dunk. Even Nikki, I know women, like I'm not from the school like, women have the same road that men do. I know they don't. So like Nikki's really good. I know you don't like, you thought I was cucking out when I was saying good things about her, but like she's got really good. And so, again, I try to be fair with people. Like if I think they're fucking assholes, I say they're assholes. But if I think they're good, but like, I see like Bert making a fucking killing. I mean, that's great. That's great that he fucking he's considered himself a journeyman comic. I mean, I've seen him say that, but I never thought of him like that. He wasn't like a guy drifting, but for him to like be killing it the way he is now, that's fucking great. I mean, it's great. It's a kind of great role model for other people. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't a slam dunk. And like the fact that Nikki's doing great. I mean, even that's great because I just think Nikki fucking kind of works hard. So again, she's a good role model for women comics, because a lot of women comics get like, I can't look, audiences suck. I mean, they do kind of suck, but if you get good, then the audience kind of has no choice. You know what I mean? Like, you ever be like, oh, the audience sucks, and then you come up with like a new joke, and then the new joke kills, and you're like, hey, maybe it wasn't maybe the audiences aren't that bad. Maybe I have to get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
Sometimes, like, I do it myself. I blame like when I'm in a funk, I blame I'm like, the audiences suck. The audiences at the cellar suck. And then I'll come up with like a couple new jokes that are killing, and I'll be like, oh, these audiences are good all of a sudden. What happened? It's like I got, I came up with new stuff. So it's like sometimes you just got to fucking just grind it out. Because Nikki's been around a long time too, right?
Yeah, Nikki's been around. I think she started a little bit before I did, because I remember she came out to L.A. and I was there's a photo of me, Nikki, David Attell, Dimitri Martin, and Doug Benson, and it's from 2006, and it's all of us. I had it on my MySpace, but I forgot Nikki was even in that photo. So she was just from St. Louis, and she just came out here. So she's been trucking along for a while. Yeah,
but it's good. I mean, it's good even when like guys blow up, like whatever. Like I remember when Dane Cook blew up, people are like, oh, he sucks. I'm like, yeah, but it's still good that they like as a business model, it'd be like, look what can happen if you like fucking if you just grind it out. Like sometimes you just gotta fucking grind it out and then be like, oh shit, and then all of a sudden you're like making money, and then like, and sometimes like the business, sometimes like it just changes. Like fucking who would have guessed Carlos Mencia would have been like nowhere, and Joe Rogan would be like as you say, the Johnny Carson of fucking podcasting.
That's what gives me hope, even though like I kind of took a detour. I feel like there's still hope.
Yeah, you have a good like energy to you. Like it's like even when you're like in a funk, you don't get like you're not like a baby about it. Like you're always like, let's fucking do this. Like even if you're destroying your career, you're like, let's do this.
So let's do this.
You do it energetically, which is impressive.
As like, my career's falling apart. What should I do? Do a podcast with Kevin Brennan.
No, you could have tweeted that, and you got in your car. You could have tweeted the Patton Oswald, the last Patton Oswald, like, I have proof that you killed your wife. Tweet it, get in your car, drive right back to New York, and Compound Media would have given you a show the next day.
Oh, I know. You know how many people told me to double down, and I got too scared. I'm like, there's part of me that wants to, but I'm just like, I just moved here. I got a nice place. I got a couple bucks saved, and I don't want to like ruin it right now.
No, you almost have to be ready. You almost have to be packed to double down the way they want you. Like if you're going to double down, you have to be packed and just tweet it, and then just get in your car and not even look at your phone for 3 days, and then just show up in New York and be like, what's going on, everybody?
I might have to do that.
The FBI is looking for you. What?
I think I'm coming out for Skankfest. We're working on that. You're doing it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll come do the show when I'm out there, hopefully.
In June, yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right, buddy.
All right, thank you for the podcast. And go to Kevin's Patreon and sign up for $3 a month. It's always entertaining. But thanks, Kevin.
Or yeah, do my Patreon or do sign up for Compound Media. That's $9 a month. Either one's great, or both is perfect. But Kevin Brennan 666 at Twitter. All my links are right there.
All right, Kevin. I'll see you on Twitter this weekend.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Cool. I got this little plug-in. This is great. I can do phone calls. Great Kevin Brennan, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. I wanted to talk to him after a lot of things died down because it's still going on, but it's not. It wasn't as crazy as it was. Well, so I could have just an honest conversation about what happened. I've always admired Kevin. I like Kevin, and I never understood when people just kind of talk shit. And everyone has feelings, but why people would get just blackballed or considered exiled just because they're talking shit. And again, I love shit talkers. I love troublemakers. They entertain me. If you listen to classic Howard Stern episodes with Artie and Gilbert Gottfried, they're some of the best. There's tension, and there's so much cookie cutter vanilla radio right now that it's just entertainment in general. Just even stand up, cookie cutter vanilla, no edge, and it's just something that I always enjoyed. And I don't know if we're losing it because of the PC culture and the Me Too movement and whatever movement's next, and the public outrage on social media. But I don't ever want to let go of that. I'm a comic. I'm goofy. I talk on stage about how the fucked up stuff I've done. But I also like a little edge, and I like people being uncomfortable, and that's why I got into this business. And there's no one better than Kevin Brennan. So follow him, hit him up. To everyone, thanks for signing up for my Patreon, which is patreon.com/sitdownzumock. If you can, hit up my YouTube page. I got a YouTube. I'm going to change the name of it. I don't know how to do it, but it's youtube.com/adventures in Argyle. Just hit subscribe. That's free. I'm going to change the URL just to make it easier so people, because I put the podcast out on there too. You can listen to that podcast on my YouTube channel. And, my album, White Guy Named Chad, Amazon, iTunes. And if you're on Pandora, make a station. I got a lot of stuff on there. Just go ahead and make a station, give it a play. And Spotify's the same thing. All right, guys. But thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that. I know a lot of people always hit me up about when's Kevin going to be on. And, with him being on the East Coast, me being on the West Coast, it's a little hard. So I was glad I could make that work with the stuff I bought from the Guitar Center. I got phone technology. And I use that from the Patreon. And pretty soon I'll add a video component. We're on our way. But thanks for listening. We'll talk soon. That's a wrap.